welcome to Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet where with great power comes absolutely no responsibility. I'm your host, Rob.
And I'm your host, Chad, and we have a theme week this week about
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Does whatever Spider does. Spider-Pig.
I like the Tenacious D, Jack Black song on that.
But so today we're talking about Mark Webb's new film, The Amazing Spiderman, starring Andrew Garfield.
And on Thursday, keeping in track with our theme, we're going to review the game The Amazing Spiderman, which is out for a couple different platforms at the time.
Cool. As always, check us out on Twitter at Epic Geek Out. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would appreciate that. All you need to do is hit the subscribe button on this video somewhere at some point in time.
Yep.
Just keep watching. You'll see it.
You could like us on Facebook. You could check out our website, www.epicgeekout.com.
Also, we got email, fans@epicgeekout.com. Let us know what you want us to review, talk about on the show. But let's get into it without further ado.
Our
Spider-Man.
So today we will be reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man. Yes, it has been rebooted after just 10 years and I think 5 years since the last
2007, because it was on TV the other day.
Yeah, so basically it is the story of Spider-Man.
Peter Parker.
Rebooted Peter Parker. A little different this time. Directed by Mark Webb, who I mentioned before in my thanks. Directed 500 Days of Summer. This is his first big action blockbuster. Stars Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Martin Short. Not Martin Short.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, he could have played a bad guy. Martin Sheen, Dennis Leary, and others.
Right, exactly.
And yeah, as the bad guy. And basically they were kind of marketing it as the untold story of Peter Parker, which I don't necessarily. It kind of felt like
Slash Film
the told story of Peter Parker,
but they cut out from the trailers. Check out slashfilm.com. They have an awesome article on there right now about all the stuff they cut out of the trailers, which I didn't even realize watching the movie, but a lot of stuff they cut out.
Also, one other note: now the commercials that they're showing has the extra scene in it as part of the commercial, which I found weird. There is a scene at the end of like the first round of credits, so stick to that. So I felt weird that they included that. So, but without further ado, Chad, what did you think of the movie?
Well, I was very excited to see it. Huge fan of 500 Days of Summer from Mark Webb. Huge fan of Andrew Garfield. Huge fan of Emma Stone.
Did I mention Emma Stone is in it?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay.
Huge fan of everything coming together about it. Was impressed with the trailers. Was really excited. Mixed bag for me. There's a lot of things that, well, there's not a lot. There was things that I loved about it, and there was a lot of things that I hated about it, and a lot of things I felt mediocre about. But the things that I loved, we'll just start with the good things. The action was awesome. The way that they had him web slinging, fighting, fights out was really cool. The Spider-Man CGI wasn't bad. It was decent.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it wasn't anything groundbreaking compared to the others. I didn't think so much, but so that was good. I also like the tone of the movie, the way it was shot, the coloring. It had a more grounded, realistic feel to it. Wasn't as cartoony as Raimi's style is. It wasn't as in that vein.
Campy, I would say.
Yeah, campy. It wasn't that. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff that I didn't like. The biggest problem that I had was with the lizard CGI and the lizard character. The lizard character, totally underutilized, totally didn't make sense in my opinion. His motivations were just weird and didn't really fit at all with what they were saying that was happening. I didn't connect with that storyline at all. His CGI was awful. They made his mouth weird. They made him talk weird. I had a problem with every time he was on screen.
And the one inner monologue moment he had was so reminiscent of like the Green Goblin from the other movies.
And you had mentioned just like he had his lab coat, but then it would come off and then it'd rip and then he'd put another one on. Like, why was he constantly
He had an
doing
endless
that?
supply of lab coats, it seemed. Which, like, I mean, the old figure I used to have was, shorts, lab coat on, and like I guess they maybe try to give that a little bit of a throwback, but
like how many times is the guy gonna rip it off? Anyways, so big problem with that. Unfortunately, if you remember from our superhero extravaganza, I was stressing how excited I was and how I thought Peter Parker or Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker was perfect. Unfortunately, didn't buy it for a second. I didn't like the way he played it. I think it was just a personal preference maybe. I know you're going to probably disagree, but the way he played Peter Parker, the way he played Spider-Man, just didn't fit together and also didn't fit the character. He was just kind of an asshole at times, and I know that
he was a teenager in most.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it was just
it is that phase
he
of life.
he like downplayed his dialogue at parts, but then like when he was Spider-Man, I know he's supposed to get more cocky and stuff, but he just like overacted that, and I don't know. I think he was trying to have a stark difference between when he was in the costume and when he wasn't, and it just neither worked for me. Again, personal preference. I love Andrew Garfield. I think he's a great actor. Unfortunately, just the way he played the part, I didn't necessarily like. I felt that it was really too soon to reboot the movie. I found myself comparing it constantly to the other movie. Not that that's good or bad. Good and bad. At parts I was like, oh, I like this better. I don't like this. They didn't change the story enough, in my opinion, to make it necessary for a reboot. I mean, I don't know that there's ever been this quick of a reboot for a
well, this they're focusing more on the parents and
it
what
seemed
the
that
parents
but,
needed to do.
And that's part of what that article talks about. Like, it seemed like there was this big secret thing, and there really isn't. I mean, they hint at it that he kind of created the lizard thing that he takes to become the lizard, but that was it. Like in the trailer, it made it seem like he created Spider-Man, in a way. Which I guess technically he sort of did, but
yeah, there's past research.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. It just I didn't feel like it was necessary. I know why they did
exactly, and I mean
they had to keep the rights. I mean that was exactly why they did it. But just a total mixed bag. I don't know. It was kind of all over the place. I don't know how to feel about it. I think I mostly enjoyed it because of Spider-Man, but as a movie, not so much.
Okay, so here's the problem with it, and just to put it all on the table, Avengers came out this year. And there were 3 movies recently done of Spider-Man. Now, in my, out of the Spider-Man movies, I would put this third, with Spider-Man 3 behind it. But
I'll say I liked it better than Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where it fits. So for a reboot, it didn't have that same punch, that same complete difference in tone like Batman Begins did compared to the original Tim Burton's Batman.
Right.
Completely different takes on the character. This had a different tonal change a bit, but still it was a vibrant colored take on Spider-Man. There are moments in the movie that the costume was great. Yeah. The costume was the best. The web shooters were great, but it wasn't, they didn't go dark with it. It wasn't so different than those movies that you could juxtapose them with each other and have a good comparison. It was a Spider-Man movie, and if this came out first, I think it would have been great because we would have seen Spider-Man. But this summer, we saw the Avengers, all these different film franchises coming into one, all good to great standalone movies in their own right, to then just get a bit of regurgitation here. Now,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Did I like it? Yeah. I didn't have the same problems you had with Andrew Garfield. I thought he did a good job with it. I enjoyed it was stupid how he put on the glasses, and there were some very stupid moments of it, and they were just trying to make him more like a teen currently in 2012 opposed to Spider-Man's been written since when it was created.
Yeah.
So they try to give him the normal tropes and update some things with that. Emma Stone I think did a great job as Gwen Stacy.
She did great because I was worried she was going to be Emma Stone like she is in everything else, and she actually did play it differently than she normally does, which I appreciated.
There's a lot of moments, though, in this movie that they try to take something that was, I think, well done in one of the other Spider-Man movies of, the city helping them to being stupid and awful part in that movie. I mean, at one point he gets hurt, but then he's fine. Spider-Man... there was a lot of moments.
The city rising up, it didn't earn that moment at all. One guy got saved by him earlier.
And it just happened that...
it happened that he talked everybody else into helping. I mean, it was... I didn't think that was...
It was very unneeded. And also what they did to help was kind of stupid when there were... Whatever. Not to get into detail to ruin anything. But it is a Spider-Man movie, and it's just a shame that we have it to compare. If this came out the same year as just Captain America or something like that, I think it would be comparable and you can do it. But now, I can't help but compare it to the Avengers. It's actually what first comes to my mind just because it was this summer. And then the other Spider-Man movies. And I did like Andrew Garfield better, but it didn't do enough to save the movie. But I liked it. So it sucks because I guess just Spider-Man was one of the cartoons I watched growing up, and I wanted it to be more. I wanted them to do more justice to the character. Give me a story that, since I'm not 100% into comics yet, that I might not have known, but I you know,
Yeah,
he gets
exactly.
with Gwen Stacy. It's his first love, like, you know, and
Wizard, you know.
and a
what
lot of
Wizard's
people
about.
are like saying they're trying to Twilight it, and I think to some degree they are, in just making it more appealing to younger
I can
kids.
see that, especially
And
by choosing Mark Webb too. I mean, that's
so, you know, it's like I hate to say all these bad things because
It's still
there were
Spider-Man.
moments that I loved
still
seeing.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed the action. So I think it's worth going to see just for the action parts. And I enjoyed his take on Spider-Man, but I could see where you mean.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely go check it out. You know?
Oh, you got it. I mean, you probably already did
Yeah.
at this point. I mean, it's Spider-Man. It's just I had problems with it, unfortunately, because I have a high standard for Spider-Man. Spider-Man's superhero.
So
Superhero
far, my
movie gets a
list
standard.
from the first episodes we did is matching up. Avengers is above it now.
Well,
I
mine
just have
technically
to-
still is, but I think
Yeah.
it's not going to be.
Yeah,
that way,
no,
so.
it's not. So definitely go check it out. It's Spider-Man. What else can we tell you? We didn't see it in 3D. Maybe that'll be better. So
Check it out.
That's it. That's our review for The Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, it's that time of the show again to give our geek thanks for what we're thankful for in geek. Rob, what's your thanks today?
I'm going to take a little bit off topic here, but we saw a preview when we went to see The Amazing Spider-Man for the new Bond movie. And I would just like to give my thanks to James Bond. It's a franchise that has done quite near the impossible of, you know, replacing a role with iconic actors throughout the ages. And what's the new one called?
Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Looks
So
awesome.
excited to see
Looks
it.
awesome.
Sam Mendes is directing, which is a bit of a change in the series. The trailer is just beautiful, the way it's shot and stuff. So I'm really excited for that movie coming up. And just, I mean, I own pretty much all the Bond movies on DVD. Haven't watched them. Watch them when they're on TV. But,
Yeah.
you know, James Bond, thank you. You provided us with GoldenEye for the 64, which took up much of my life. So I'm going to give James Bond a shout out today. So what are you
Sweet.
thankful for, Chad?
I just recently watched a movie on Netflix that I'm going to give a little thanks to. If you check out our site, we have something called, well, Rob has something called Netflix Gems. So he points out some awesome things on Netflix that if you might not know is on there that you could check out. So check that out. But I just saw Hobo with a Shotgun, which I liked a lot. You didn't like so as much as I did.
It got built up way too much for me.
It is a crazy, like, B movie, like
shit.
It's nuts. The title's Hobo with a Shotgun. I mean, it was one of the Grindhouse trailers or something,
Yeah.
fan trailers when they were doing Grindhouse. So it's a crazy concept. It's nuts. I mean, the guy he goes around with a shotgun. He's a hobo. I mean, that's all you need to know about it.
And he wants a lawnmower.
Yeah. So he can start a company. This is true American ingenuity and businessmanship. I don't know. But he shoots people with a shotgun, which is awesome. Check it out. It's not long.
I don't know why I
like-
expected more. I don't.
Yeah.
And that is my fault.
I think it was only like 89 minutes, 88
it was an
minutes.
hour and a half, yeah.
So it's not long. Check it out. It's on Netflix Instant. Hobo with a Shotgun. So that's all for this episode. We'll be back on Thursday with The Amazing Spider-Man again, part duh, with the video game. So come back and check us out on Thursday. But thanks for watching this episode of Epic Geek Out.